the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
This is a note that comes in from Lee, who says, Patrick, I love your show. I have a question. Is it a sin if you steal from the trash at work? I mean, like there's something you're supposed to throw away, but you keep it instead. Very interesting question. So maybe to avoid even the appearance of theft, you could ask your supervisor and say, hey, this thing that I'm supposed to throw away, I could use that at home. Would it be okay with you if instead of throwing it away, if I kept it and brought it home with me? To me, that seems like a safer course because that way you would never have to wonder or worry. And who knows how the employer might look at that? The employer might say, that's supposed to be thrown away. That's not supposed to be taken home. And the employer might regard it as theft. Sounds like a borderline kind of thing. Cyrus, let's use you as an experiment, as an example here. Let's say there was, I can't imagine what we would throw away here at Relevant Radio, because the equipment that we use, the materials, we don't really have like stuff left over.
Yeah, the trash is filled with banana peels and apple cores.
That's right.
I'm not interested in that.
No, why would you be? Unless you wanted to compost your backyard garden. That's another thought. Or maybe not you, Cyrus. How about this? What if you're working at a restaurant? What if you're working at Panera? And at the end of the day, you've got all of this unsold bread, pies, pastry, whatever it is they sell in there. And you want to take it home. It's supposed to go in the dumpster because I know in some places they have laws that require you can't give it to the homeless. You can't help people with it. You have to throw it away. I think that's a terrible way to handle things like that. But what if that were the company policy at the Panera that you work at? And you decide, I'm going to take this bag of muffins home because I've got hungry kids. I could see where your employer might say that's theft. I don't think it technically would be theft if it was going into the dumpster at the end of the day. But your employer could look at it as theft. And maybe another way to look at it is if your company's policy is that must go into the dumpster, then you're violating the company policy by keeping it for yourself, wouldn't you be? So I think if I were in that situation, the best thing to do would be to ask your supervisor, is it okay with you if I take a bag of muffins home with me for the kids? No? Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's okay? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Then you have your pass. You have your ethical permission slip. What do you think about that, Cyrus?
I think I might need to add that to my confession list because that scenario is all too real, and I know
so much is being revealed this morning.
I've never told you about any of that. So,
all right, I've got time. I've got 5 minutes on the clock, so let's hear all about it, Cyrus.
Yes, I have taken food that was supposed to be thrown away, working in restaurants and in stores, and I've taken it home and used it for my own
Did you
food.
feel weird about it after?
Not even remotely. Because it was literally going to be waste. But they're like, oh, no, you have to throw it away. I'm like, okay, sure thing. Yep.
On your way out the back door with the bag.
And then on your way out, you just grab it. Yep, and I never thought twice about it because I thought it was a ridiculous rule.
There is a workaround.
But just because it's a rule, just because it's a ridiculous rule doesn't mean it wasn't a sin.
Well, that's a good point. And I would go one step further and say just because it was a ridiculous rule and violated company policy doesn't mean it was a sin. May not have been a sin at all. But I just thought of a workaround. What if you dually took that bag of food and you put it in the dumpster and then you got in your car, then you got out of your car, came back to the dumpster and took it out of the dumpster? You did fulfill your company obligation to throw it away. You put it in the dumpster.
That seems more sneaky than I just blatantly disregarded the rules.
Well, at least you'd have the defense to say, I did throw it away. I did. Does the company have a policy about what happens to it after it's in the dumpster? That might be a good question to ask.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes these things can seem to be gray areas.
Or waiting tables, the table I'm waiting on, they ordered a big thing of fries and they didn't touch them. And I'm a starving college student, and I'm bussing their table, and I have a big basket of fries and chicken wings, totally untouched. I just got a free lunch.
Yeah,
but that's not supposed to go in the garbage.
Yeah, and it's going to be wasted anyway. So why not waste it on your own?
Because it's against company policy.
Here's how you navigate that. You ask your boss, "Hey boss, at the end of the meal, the people are leaving and there's some food that's untouched and I'd hate to throw it away, and besides I'm hungry. Okay with you if I eat that on the side?" I'll bet you the boss would say, "Sure." I'll bet you the boss is eating food.
Yeah, the boss is
at
eating
the
for
restaurant,
free. Managers
which is a
eat for
form of
free.
theft in any case. Unless it's company policy, he can eat for free. That's different.
They will definitely say, "Do not eat that," and they will toe the company line 100% of the time.
I don't believe that.
When
I
was
think
the-
most bosses
When was the
are going to
last time
say,
you waited tables?
a long time ago. I was a
Long time.
teenager. That's how long ago it
I guess
was.
it's been a long time for me too, but
Yeah.
I still have the memories.
Young Thomas just sent me a note saying, "Don't ask your boss. He would say no because he has to say that. Plausible deniability is the better route." Yeah, but it's risky because I like the letter of the law in a case like this, where if anyone ever said later, "Why did you do that?" you could say, "Well, I asked so-and-so."
Why did I do it? Because I'm starving, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm
paying,
starving.
You're not paying me livable wages, and it's food.
As long as if the company doesn't have a set policy, you can't eat leftover food. If it says in black and white you can't eat leftover food, I would obey that as part of the term of my employment, part of the agreement. If there's no policy that says you can't eat food, I personally, this is just me, I have a low tolerance for risk, so I would ask somebody, and I would pick the person I asked, knowing that he or she might be more likely to say yes. Let's go to Paul in Phoenix. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Patrick. So I was just thinking, there's laws that man has made and laws that God has made, and what's more of a sin, throwing out food that could help other people survive and thrive, or taking it from them when not asked, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I think that pivots on the question of, is it morally permissible to throw away good food, usable good food?
They're going to say no because there's just a liability. Maybe they'll get sick from the food if it's not kept to the right temperature. Like, that's why a lot of people or a lot of companies throw it out. Mm-hmm. Even like St. Vincent de Paul, and I know I've volunteered there. They don't let people take the food home with them because they have to keep it at a right temperature. But it's all still good food.
So let's say you're volunteering as you are at St. Vincent de Paul. And let's say a family down the street from you, or in some family that really needs some help. And the policy is you can't take the food home. And your shift is over, you're getting ready to get in the car and go, and you have an opportunity to take a bag of food with you, knowing that that's against the St. Vincent de Paul policy, which I'm assuming it is based on what you said.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dilemma. How would you handle that?
Me personally, since I volunteer, I don't really. I would take it and give it to the family, but you're not supposed to. But I don't. I think it's wrong. So
to throw it away.
Yeah, if it can help people, it just seems wrong to throw it away.
Yeah, I can see that.
My dilemma.
Now, the dilemma is further compounded that maybe St. Vincent de Paul, the people there who make those decisions, maybe they would love to be able to disperse this food, but maybe the state has told them, if we catch you giving food out, we're going to slap all kinds of lawsuits on you. There could be some punitive reason that whether it's St. Vincent de Paul.
That's what they tell you. They could shut them down. They'll shut the whole place down if somebody comes back and sues them. So.
See, that's where I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But you know what I would do, Paul? I would say maybe you can ask your supervisor, would it be within the bounds of what's permitted if I took this home for me?
They let the volunteers eat the food after they're complete, so
you have a right, or at least you have permission to eat that food. Here, I'm trying to think creatively here. And if you were to say, can I have permission to eat this food? And, I can't eat it here, but I'll take it home with me. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. Well, there's no reason that you couldn't change your mind once you've left and you have the food and you're on your way home and you decide, you know what, that other family over there can use it more than I can. See, that way at least you have checked in and you've gotten permission, and then I think you're in the clear. But if they have a policy that says no, and it's based upon how it could harm St. Vincent de Paul or harm, a business, I would respect that personally. I think that's the better way to go.
Yeah, I guess in the long run, it's more impactful that they continue working. So if they get shut down, it's a bigger issue.
Wouldn't that be? Yeah, that'd be a nightmare. And then imagine, because your heart's in the right place, you want to help people. Imagine if that nightmare came true and the state landed on them and shut down the facility, and all those tens of thousands of people who would then not be helped as a result of that. Kind of puts things into more of perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, your heart's in the right place, though, that's for sure.
Great, yeah. Well, thank you for all your work.
Yeah, thank you for what you do at St. Vincent de Paul. Please tell them Patrick Madrid says hello, and he fondly remembers his opportunity to visit that facility. It was great. This entire episode of the Patrick Madrid Show is on the Relevant Radio app. The Relevant Radio app is completely free and updated daily with fresh articles, podcasts, and prayers. Don't delay. Download the app today. And thanks for listening.